Tracy Chapman's narrative-driven music has captivated audiences for decades, but what can we learn from her style, and is there a repeatable system for telling powerful stories through our own songwriting? If there is, then the best place to look is inside her biggest hit. With over 1 billion listens on Spotify, Fast Car is a classic song that tells a story that people around the world connect with and relate to their own life stories. And through it, I've figured out how she wrote songs that are strong, pop, and also tell a tale using what I'm calling the story system. And it's divided into 2 parts. 1 shows you how to structure lyrics to create a powerful narrative, and 2 is made up of practical musical tips to express those lyrics, combine them with music, and make a great pop song. So follow me as we explore the story system. It's that way, sorry. So I'm saying Tracy Chapman had big balls, but what I mean, she made a brave creative decision in the way she wrote the song, because we hit 3 whole verses before the chorus even comes in. That's the same 4 chord sequence for 2 whole minutes, and some songs don't even last much longer than that in total, so it's quite a bold move to withhold the chorus for that long. Tracy's record label also felt the same way and took some persuading to agree to keep it on the album in that format, but keeping those long verses obviously paid off as a song so popular, so if we're going to do a similar thing, but then we arrive at the first problem, and that's keeping the listener interested during those first verses. So the system shows us her song is a story, where the verses act like chapters in a book that develop as it progresses. The start of the verse sends us right into the heart of the focal point of the song, the fast car, the agreement, the escape. So I'll highlight some of the important lyrics. You got a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. So as an overview of the song, she feels entrenched in an unhappier life. She yearns to escape to an exciting future and seeks to achieve it through a partnership and exchange of value. She feels at rock bottom after sacrificing her potential and feels the biggest risk is in doing nothing. So verse 1 is the focal point and the plan to escape. Verse 2 adds details to the story. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs. Finally see what it means to be living. Then verse 3 adds more background to the entire situation. See, my old man's got a problem. He lives with a bottle, that's the way it is. My mama went off and left him. I said somebody's going to take care of him, so I quit school and that's what I did. So it really provides you with all the pretext and the backstory to bring us up to the point where they actually take the plunge. But just before that, we get the big question in the pre-bridge. This is the first time she drifts away from objective language into more metaphorical. You got a fast car, is it fast enough so we can fly away? So she's speaking about, can we drift away from this current situation and just escape? And then the crux of the matter, leave tonight or live and die this way. So if they don't decide now, they never will. Then we get the bridge and chorus, and this describes them taking the leap of driving away to the city, focuses on the big event taking place and the feelings that come with it. The feelings of excitement, hope, joy, comfort, security, belonging and becoming. So I remember when we were driving, sped so fast, felt like I was drunk, city lights lay out before us, your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder, I had a feeling that I belonged, I had a feeling that I could be someone. So it's always optimism and hope. So we can see here the story system is broken up into 3 chapters. And the first 3 verses come in chapter 1. So chapter 2 is describing the situation shortly after the event that happened in the verse, which is getting in the fast car and escaping to the city. So she describes things as being fresh and new, but she's unsatisfied with how things are going. She's critical of the other person's lack of contribution, but she's still optimistic for the future. We go cruising to entertain ourselves. You still ain't got a job. I know things will get better. Buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So now when we hear the bridge and the chorus for the second time, it takes on a slightly different meaning because it's more of a reflection of the event, the gamble they took, that still holds a sense of hope and possibility. There's some pride in the fact they took a chance. So the first time we hear the chorus, it documents the escape. Afterwards, it's remembering the day when they made that brave decision. And then we look at chapter 3, where we hear the 5th and final verse, where she describes being fully committed in the new life, but still unhappy, struggling and at her wit's end, blames the other person for not committing to improving their lives, and disappointed our reality didn't match the dream. What initially gave her hope of a better future becomes the thing she now needs to get rid of. I got a job that pays all our bills. You stay out drinking late at the bar. You see more of your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better, so take your fast car and keep on driving. And then we get the bridge and chorus again. This time it takes on a different meaning again with a new context. It's more of a bittersweet memory of the fateful day she thought her life was saved when she finally managed to escape that situation she was in. And then right at the end of the song we get that pre-bridge again, but the clever thing about it is she now changes the focus on that pre-bridge from her situation to ours and poses a big question. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? You got to make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So it poses that big question back to the listener. And it asks, are you going to make that big change you need to make in your life? So it's quite clever the way she did that. So how can we use this structure ourselves? Well, through the idea of using chronological chapters that develop and move the story forward, and having a chorus that describes a big event that's related to that story. But when writing it, you should also stick to these rules, which will benefit you in part 2 of the system. And these actually make the song easier to write as well, so you can't go wrong. Number 1 is to keep the rhyme loose. So we don't need to hear the fat cat sat on the mat. Allow for some non-rhyming sentences and words that don't fit perfectly together. And then number 2 is don't overthink matching the syllables. Because when I write a song, usually I try to make the sentences sing evenly. So if the first line had 10 syllables, I'd make the second line have 10. Don't do this here, just tell your story. You'll find out why in a minute. So chapter 1 of the story system is the 3 verses. This is pre the event, pre the chorus. These early verses establish the current situation and focus on the idea of a big future event. Highlight the potential of the event taking place. Add details to create tension and background information for a bigger reason for the event. Then we've got the pre-bridge, which is optional, where you'd sum up the crux of the issue in a condensed thought. Focus on 1 or 2 main ideas. In her case, if we don't make a change now, we never will. Now we've got the chorus, or the bridge and chorus, depending on how you want to structure it, but it describes the big event taking place. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What thoughts are you having? What are the main emotions? After that, we've got the chapter 2 verse. Now this is how the story unfolded soon after the event. What was learned, what was felt. The magic about using chapters that move forward in time is that the next chorus will have a slightly different feel as we interpret the chorus differently with new information brought to light. And this will work without any extra effort from you. And then the chapter 3 verse describes how this story ended up, reflect on the events with greater perspective and describe the final situation and the direction of the story. And again, the chorus will seem different. And once that's done, you've now got to make those verses compelling. And we do that through the way the lyrics are sung and the way the music combines with the lyrics to form a catchy pop song. So we'll look at that now. So it's quite challenging to sing this song. Actually, it's very challenging. And the reason is that while all vocals have got a sense of rhythm to them, this song really puts an emphasis on the phrasing. The rhythm of a voice is almost hypnotic, locked into a groove, swaying with the melody, but also breaking the typical rules we see in lyric writing. So what she's doing is similar to what rappers do. So Tracy makes it interesting through melodic changes as you'd expect, but also by really focusing on the phrasing, and it keeps the verses really interesting and dynamic.
You got a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal, maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better, starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something.
So even the main line, you got a fast car, is odd to sing and not something that most songwriters would have ended up with. And in verse 2, the way she patterns the words and sings them gets even crazier.
You got a fast car, I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store, managed to save just a little bit of money, won't have to drive too far.
So again, she uses interesting patterning in the way she sings the words. But in verse 3, she ties that in with some sweet note changes and raises up the melody to emphasise certain words and goes from a more stuttered staccato sound to longer sweeping notes.
See, my old man's got a problem. He live with a bottle, that's the way it is. His body's too old for working, his body's too young to look like this. Mama went off and left him.
So those added higher notes really flow well with the message in the story and give the third verse more character. So don't avoid using unusual syllabic timings over the groove of your eventual guitar riff, because it creates an organic and complex texture that gives the ears something fresh to hear that goes beyond what you hear in different verses of songs usually. The sentences in this chorus are really hard to sing because of the timings of the words, And the lack of rhyme is so obvious that it's almost as if she left the lyric in through a stubborn resolve to tell the story the way she felt it best.
So I remember when we're driving in your car. Speed so fast, felt like I was drunk. City lights are out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone.
So whatever the truth is, she got the words to flow together inside the music, despite not adhering to lyrical standards. And the conversational nature of the words made it work to tell this powerful event in the story even more effectively. So take a look at your own chorus lyrics, and if they're a bit too neat and tidy, and maybe they lack some emotion and information, don't be afraid to add some more feelings, visuals, to describe the event. Because if it makes it tough to sing and feels a bit unnatural, this can actually add to the magic and feel like someone telling a real story, person to person. And all of this is further enhanced by the way she moves the chords, because it wouldn't have been as effective if she'd have strummed the 4 chords in a standard cadence. So what she's done is created a musical motif that's instantly recognisable, and it takes up 80% of the song, and it acts as a foundational tune and groove to complement her expressive vocal style. And this is done by combining a high melody with bass notes to create an intriguing picking pattern. You can do the same by choosing a chord sequence that you like and then separating the chords out into plucked notes. And there's also potential for open tunings to create interesting melodic and bass options. So the chord changes are in a very groove-centered place. If you listen to how they would sound strummed, she's pushing the second chord of each bar so it comes in early.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The timing of the chords create interesting spaces for lyrics to fall into, which deepens that sense of narrative within the song by creating an interesting canvas to sing over. So start with chords to make it easier to find a pleasing sequence, and then add the melody in afterwards. And using offbeat when changing chords, don't just change at the start of each bar, like. So the bridge and chorus appear 3 times, but only take up a total of 20% of the song. It's a short, melodic and powerful energetic shift. It's catchy and uplifting and provides a new focus, acting as a pacey counterpoint to the verses. To bring about that lifting energy, switch to playing full chords. Keep the chorus and bridge short, but melodically strong, and increase the rate of chord changes. You could even say a chorus that's chordy is catchy, if you want. It's up to you.
I got a feeling that I belong. I got a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone.
The lyrics, the way the structure of the verses tell a story, the rhythmical quality in the phrasing, the way the music develops with the story, the now iconic excellent finger-pick motif, the distinctive sing-along chorus, and the way she flips the question on the listener at the end of the song.
You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live or die this way.
But because Tracy Chapman said so much with the words, the chords she played often took a back seat, but she could have been using her chords to create an even deeper emotional message in the lyrics. And if you want to know how to do that, then copy John Lennon by watching this video next. Maybe it's there.